Joining us live now is friend of the program, Jason Israel, who's an Auterion Senior Fellow at the Centre for European Policy Analysis and the captain of the US Navy Reserve. Jason, good to see you. So you're over there at NATO at the moment. As we just heard from Kristen, we were talking about an attack on one is an attack on all. It's the basis for what's known as Article 5 on the NATO Charter, if you like. But Mr. Trump has seemed to have cast doubt over his commitment to that today with that kind of vague response, depends what an attack is. How do you read into that?
Yeah, well, good morning, Peter. Good to see you and from the Hague. And thanks for mentioning, as always, my Navy Reserve affiliation. And as a reminder, as I'm not on duty out here, these views are my own. I think you provide an excellent question that gives me my number one in what to look out for in this summit, which is what will the communique that comes out of this summit say? Last year at NATO 75 in Washington, D.C., the communique had several pieces of language, including hard language about China. We might see some more of that. That's something that the U.S. has prioritized. It also said that by the next summit, we will provide a strategy that will provide a unified approach to Russia. We will probably not see that because of differences that you've seen in the Trump administration and the rest of the countries within NATO in that approach. And then to your question on Article 5, it is the very basis of it. And so whether a leader casts doubt on it or not, it does come down to a country deciding to have Article 5 consultations and determining there should be a response. So it does cast doubt on it. And the adversaries that are looking at that, whether it's China or Russia or North Korea or Iran, will take note of that. And so will other countries here.
There's an interesting interview that our colleagues at Sky in the UK did with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky today, where he indicated, or he feared, that there would be an attack on a NATO member within the next 5 years. I'm wondering if how you would feel about that, if you think that's a given. And also, Donald Trump's, his style has led to a massive increase in defence spending from a lot of NATO partners, upwards of 5% of GDP, which is a huge success for him.
Yes. So let me answer the first part in two ways, Peter. First of all, in some ways, Russia has already been attacking NATO countries. So we have to remember that through this hybrid warfare, whether it's hiring third parties to place a bomb in a train station or incendiaries on an airplane or cyber attacks. These are things that are already Russia attacking NATO countries. So that's on one side. The other side is if there was a land incursion, which is what people usually think about when they think about an attack on NATO, because that's what's happening with Ukraine, then there would still be, consultations. But the question is deterrence keeping Russia from doing that? And right now, the evidence would say yes, the Russia is deterred from doing that. But what is it that provides deterrence? It's actually the resilience and the capability of the alliance. So if either of those, the resilience, the equipment, the capability of the alliance, or the political will to defend the alliance reduces, that actually reduces deterrence along with it and puts Putin in a stronger position to do something like another incursion. And Zelensky, of course, has lived experience with that when he gives that advice. And then you asked about the 5%. That, of course, will be a very big headline and a big win for Trump, as we saw from the text message that was released from the Secretary General. But just note that it takes a long time for those commitments to turn into capability and equipment. And back to deterrence, when President Putin looks at those commitments, he'll say, well, is that actually going to turn into real money and real contracts and real hardware? That's the question he would ask, and that's the question we should be asking ourselves.